Now coming to the Planck's quantum theory, it's very important. Listen here. We'll come to the postulates of the Planck's quantum theory. So what we come to know, the radiant energy is emitted or absorbed not continuously. Alright, this word is very important because the electromagnetic wave theory said that energy is emitted continuously, but Planck's quantum theory says that energy is not emitted or absorbed continuously, but discontinuously in the form of small discrete packet. Discrete means which is hidden. Packets of energy in the form of small discrete packets of energy or bundles of energy, we can say that. And each such packet of energy is called as spectrum. Spectrum, Vibgyor, valid to red, that is called as a spectrum. Okay, that's a visible spectrum. Each such packet of energy is called as nothing but spectrum, or we can say quantum also, you can say. The better word, initially it was in the electromagnetic wave theory, it was spectrum. Listen carefully, electromagnetic wave theory, it was spectrum. But in the Planck's quantum theory, it says that each such packet of energy is known as quantum because it is Planck's quantum theory. Getting my point? In the electromagnetic wave theory, what I said, it was known as spectrum, Vibgyor, visible spectrum, you've seen it. But here, each such packet of energy, the name was changed to quantum. In case of light, the quantum of energy is called as photon. Got it? In case of light, got it? This quantum of energy, this bundle of energy is called as what? Photon, we can say that. That is known as. So, Planck's quantum theory says that energy is not emitted continuously, but discontinuously in the form of small discrete. We cannot see these packets. Energy is coming to us, not continuously, but discontinuously it's coming in the form of packets or bundles. Then only there is a change in color. Alright, if it would have come continuously, then only we would have seen one color. On heating a particular object, you would have seen only one color, but there is a change in color. You have seen, I told you, in the black body radiations, you have seen it. Now, next point, it says that the energy of each quantum is directly proportional to the frequency of the radiation. Just now I said it. The energy does not depend upon intensity. It depends upon energy. Kinetic energy depends upon what? Velocity. Now you will be thinking kinetic energy. Why? Why? Because electrons are moving. Na? In photoelectric effect, when the light falls upon the metal, the electrons moves from the metal to that of the detector. So energy possessed by body in motion is known as what? Kinetic energy. It is kinetic energy. Is that clear? So the energy of the quantum is directly proportional to the frequency of the radiation. So E is directly proportional to nu. Now to remove the proportional sign, we have to take a constant, that is H. H is what? H stands for Planck's constant. Planck's constant. Alright, whose value is 6.627 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. Alright, that is 6.627 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second, we can say that. Or in certain books you can see it is written 6.626 also. That also will do. There is hardly any difference. 6.626 in 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. In some books you will find. Or you can say 6.627 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second, we can say. Hardly any difference. Alright, you can find it out. So in this way, energy depends upon frequency. So E is equal to h nu. So what have we got the formula? E is equal to h nu. Clear? Fine. Now next is, after that, the total amount of energy emitted or absorbed by a body will be some whole number quanta, because energy is always whole number. It's never a fractional number, mind it. Alright, because electron is never fractional, photon is never fractional. It's always a whole number, single, 1, 2, 3, 4 in this way. It's never a fractional. So energy is neither emitted or absorbed in fractional. Always it is emitted or absorbed in whole numbers. Because when the light is falling upon a particular metal, electrons are emitted from it. So do you think 1.2 electrons will be emitted? Or 3.5 electrons will be emitted? Or 6.9 electrons will be emitted? No, always a whole number. So energy is also a whole number. Energy is never a fractional number. This has to be kept in your mind always. Alright, clear? So total amount of energy emitted or absorbed by a body will be always some whole number quanta. So hence, based upon that, we can say E is equal to NH nu, where N is nothing but a whole number. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this way. Alright, it will be in this particular manner. Clear? Okay. And you can break it up this one further. H nu is what? It is nothing but C by lambda. From where we got it? Because C is equal to nu lambda. So nu is equal to C by lambda. So we can say NHC by lambda. Listen carefully. Alright, these are the formulas we'll be using it for doing numericals. So in this way we can say NH nu or nhc by lambda, we can say. Now, in case of one Einstein of energy, how, what we can say, instead of n we will be using at n naught hc by lambda. N naught is what? Avogadro's number, 1 mole of electrons. 1 Einstein of energy. Here E stands for 1 Einstein of energy. Got it? Clear? It is n naught h square. This was given by Einstein itself. N naught hc by lambda, where n naught is nothing but the Avogadro's number, we can say. Got it? So in this way, this was the postulates put forward with the Planck's quantum theory. So what we come to know? Planck's quantum theory: energy is not emitted continuously, discontinuously in the form of small discrete packets, and it depends upon frequency. Hence, the energy is E is equal to h nu. Very, very important formula. This one, very, very important. And Planck's quantum, Planck's constant, you need to remember it. Got it? And this is one total energy which is emitted or absorbed, which is nhc by lambda, where n is a whole number, it's never a fractional number, and this is one Einstein of energy is this much. You need to remember this. Got it? Now, after that, we will come to the photoelectric effect. We'll find a relationship. We have understood the photoelectric effect theoretically. Now we'll understand it. That is scientifically we'll understand. Not scientifically, rather numerically we'll understand it. That is a photoelectric effect. We'll have a formula regarding this. Now see, when light is falling upon the surface of a metal, this is a metal. When the light is falling upon this, let us say the light is falling here, photoelectrons are ejected. So what I said, light of the minimum frequency should fall upon it. If light is less than that, then it will not be ejected. It will not be ejected, mind it, electrons will not be ejected. So minimum frequency of light should fall upon the surface of the metal, then only the photoelectrons will be ejected. So different metal have different minimum frequency, mind it. Different metal have got different frequencies. For that purpose, a different frequency of light has to be used. It's not that any light will fall upon any metal and the photoelectrons will be ejected. Not at all. Not at all, mind it. So in this way, that is, when the light is falling upon it, then what you find is that this photon, it gives its entire energy to this particular electron. Listen carefully. It gives its entire energy. Now, gaining that particular energy, electrons are ejected from the surface of the metal. Electrons gain that energy and it is being ejected from the surface of the metal. It is being dislodged from the surface of the metal. Got it? And this energy is how much? It is nothing but the minimum amount of energy is what? E naught, we can say. E naught. Or we can write it as W naught also. This is also said to be as work function, mind it. And what is the formula? It is h nu naught. E naught is the minimum energy which is falling on the surface of the metal. We can say that. That particular E naught, the minimum energy, the threshold energy, we can also call it as work function. Mind it, what I said, the word work function, we said that. So that is W naught is equal to h nu naught. Alright. Now, it is not necessary that the minimum frequency will be falling upon it. Just now I said you, it can be that the frequency of the light which is falling on the surface of the metal is greater than that of the minimum frequency. The frequency, the light which is falling on the surface of the metal is greater than that of the minimum frequency. In that case, what will be the formula? E is equal to h nu. When light of frequency greater than that of minimum frequency is falling on the surface of the metal, then what is that? What is the formula of that particular energy? E is equal to h nu. When light of minimum frequency is falling on the surface of the metal, then what is the energy? This is the energy. What is the formula? This is the formula. Got it now? Clear? This is known as what? Minimum energy, threshold energy, or it is called as what? Work function. Now, how much energy we require to dislodge an electron from the surface of the metal? This much. How much energy is falling on the surface of the metal? Because it is not necessary that this energy will always fall on the surface of the metal. It's not necessary. This is the minimum energy required. You can give more energy also. Suppose energy which is falling on the surface of the metal is E. Then what is the difference in energy which is being created? What is being converted to? The difference in energy which is created, it is being converted into half mv square is equal to kinetic energy. How? Because what I said you, when the light is falling on the surface of the metal, the photoelectrons are ejected, and this is being detected by what? Detector. You have seen it in the photoelectric effect experiment. So the electrons are flowing from one end to the other end, from the metal to the detector. It is flowing, it is moving. So what is the energy possessed by body in motion? Kinetic energy. And kinetic energy formula is what? Half mv square. And what I said you, the difference in energy which is created, that is being converted into difference in energy. Difference in energy understood. This much energy is falling, this much energy is required. So the difference in energy is converted into what? Kinetic energy, due to which electrons is moving from one end to the other end. from the metal to the detector. That is half mv square. Now E is what? What I said? H nu. What is E naught? H nu naught is equal to what? Half mv square. H goes common. Sorry. H goes common. Nu minus nu naught is equal to half mv square. So whatever is unknown to here, whatever is unknown to you, that can be calculated from here. Whatever is unknown, suppose nu you do not know, velocity of the electron you do not know, anything we are not knowing it, we can calculate from here. Alright, this is what we get it from the photoelectric effect. It's a very, very important formula. This one is that kinetic energy is equal to E minus E naught. It's equal to H nu minus H nu naught. You can also, instead of E naught, you can also write W naught. That also can be written. Fine. So in this way. Next, if you increase the intensity of the light of a given frequency, it increases the number of photoelectrons. I told you earlier also, but it does not increase the velocity of the photoelectrons. Because if you increase the intensity, the number of photoelectrons will increase, but the velocity will remain the same. Mind you that. Alright. So in this way, what you find is that based upon this particular electromagnetic wave theory and Planck's quantum theory, Einstein said that, listen carefully, electron is of dual nature. Dual nature. Based upon electromagnetic wave theory and Planck's quantum theory, Einstein said that electron is of dual nature. Electron is of dual nature. How? It is both particle nature as well as wave nature. How he said that? Particle nature because from the experiments of photoelectric effect and black body radiations, we conclude that electron is of particle because it is moving from one end to the other end. That is particle nature. Fine. From the experiment of electromagnetic wave theory, waves are being created. From there we conclude that electron is of wave nature. Got it now? From the electromagnetic wave theory, waves are created. We have studied now wave number, wave velocity, frequency. We have seen the electromagnetic waves, that is electromagnetic spectrum. From there we conclude that the electron is of wave nature. Got it? And from what you can say the experiments upon black body radiations and photoelectric effect, we conclude that electron is of particle nature. Electron is both wave nature as well as particle nature. For that reason, Einstein concluded that electron is of dual nature. Okay, thank you.